Hello, hello, my green skins, and welcome to the last video of John Candy Month, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. So what'd you think of this one, Dark?
Funny. I likey a lot. I enjoyed this movie.
And again, you never really saw this movie, so it was one of those surprise hits for you. And I
I can't
said this
say
is
I
John
haven't.
Candy's.
I mean, there's a lot of films that I've watched back in the 90s that I haven't seen since, and this could be one of them. There were some things
Uh,
that were familiar to me, but or at least I felt they were familiar, but I don't know. Or maybe it's just it being a late 80s movie. Maybe that's maybe it just randomly brings back stuff. I don't know.
yeah, it was a interesting movie. It's a good road trip movie, and like I said, it's John Candy's best. So let's break it down. What do you think of the music to this movie?
Uh, I I don't I don't have any like with any John Hughes movie, the music is not the strongest aspect of it. And
I don't know. I like that. I like that scene where John Candy's dancing around to a great blues song. I can't remember the name of it right now, just because I'm so tired.
I only remember that song because and not for good reason. Actually, there was a scene in one of the Family Guy Star Wars parodies, The Empire Strikes Back one, and one of the guys
Yeah,
on the on those oh, I don't know what they're called. Um, in the way they're called giant robot camels. Anyway, one of the guys
yeah,
inside is listening to that very same song and just enjoying it the same
yeah. Because
way
it's a
John
parody.
Candy. Yeah, so
It's a
but
It's a parody of that scene.
Family Guy, when it comes to musicals, I just skim over them because I hate their musical references.
Yeah.
But and so it just reminded me of that, and yeah, I not a good association.
So, what did you think of the cast of characters in this one?
Okay, um, Steve Martin, I don't uh, particularly, or I didn't particularly like until I saw this movie because in my mind, I've hardly seen anything from him, and when I have, he his roles are really stupid. Like his
Yeah.
style of comedy is like when you say Steve Martin, I think the Pink Panther, his um his hosting of the Oscars a few years ago, which to me I don't like. So to see him
Mm.
out of that kind of stupid moron um
Mhm.
obnoxious role to be in something more grounded and more down to earth, more serious is refreshing.
Well, he did some really good movies back in the day. And
But
and in his later movies it was just life changed and just stuff kind of got different. He got a lot he's a weird guy. Like he goes around in a band most of the time playing bluegrass. Like that's his favorite thing to do. So
yeah,
he's
well, like I
he's one of
said,
those guys.
the style of comedy he has chosen to take in later in his career is what I know him for, and I don't like. But had I seen him in something like this and similar, I would have appreciated him more. So this kind of like tips the scale a little bit of my dislike
Yeah.
towards him as a performer.
Well, you know what? I've heard people say he's a great actor, but if you give him a shitty script, he'll act as best he can for that silly shitty script. But he's one of those actors that'll just go all in, regardless. So it's just like one of those things where even if he's playing a buffoon, he'll still do it. Another guy that did that was Leslie Nielsen. One of his worst movies was Mr. Magoo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And John Candy,
So
I've been repeating myself mostly, but the only thing I can add is this time he's not the straight man, but this being an old school comedy, it still doesn't relegate him to the role of a bumbling, stupid, idiotic, clumsy buffoon. Instead, it's they he's he's not relegated. That's the wrong word. He's placed in a sympathetic, nice guy, good Samaritan, optimistic
Mm,
character.
I don't know what to think of John Candy. I don't know what to think about John Candy in this movie. This movie is one of those things where it was like I liked it, and at the same time I'm like, I'm on the fence. So that's kind of how I look at the John Candy movie. Yeah, this one anyway. He plays the simpleton in this one, but he also plays like this grounded motherfucker.
A simple guy with a heart.
Yeah, a simple guy of a heart. And a scam artist because he fucking sold a bunch of fucking curtain rings as earrings, which
Yeah,
was fucking
you
hysterical.
because he's trying so hard to be helpful to Steve Martin's character that you forget he's a scammer. I mean, he's selling these
Mhm.
shower rings and pretending they're they're ivory earrings or something.
Mhm.
That was funny.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. What do you think of the story?
Um, pretty basic. But it's not the story. It's about the humor, and that's
It's about the adventure.
yeah.
This movie's an adventure. I don't like saying it's basic. I would say it's more of an adventure movie.
It takes advantage of every just about every scene. And
Yeah,
for those who don't know, it's basically the story of a man, Steve Martin, trying to get home to his family, but his plane. But there's a lot of inconveniences on the way that delay him, and John Candy is trying being the good Samaritan who unknowingly wronged him at the start of the film, tries to um, make
yeah,
it right for him,
yeah.
and
Yeah, Kevin Bacon, for example, and it just kept going that way. I do like that John Candy, like the things that he just kind of has that look, and he wants to get like, and Steve Martin wants to get rid of him, but he just can't get rid of him. It's a great adventure movie. I don't want to spoil too much because it's something that if a new person has never seen this movie, it's one of those good go watch.
it's also a
So, what do you
clash
want
of
to rate?
personalities
Oh,
as it's also a clash of
mhm,
personalities during the road trip, but they learn to appreciate each
yeah.
other.
After a while, yeah.
Yeah,
And then we got a very very sad twist at the end, which I don't want to bring up, but it's a good John Hughes twist.
yeah.
So
As
yeah.
for
So what do you want to rate this? Oh, what?
I think I'm gonna give this an 8.
An eight? Yeah, an eight. Eight sounds like for me too.
I mean, it is
Good
slow
overall movie.
in some areas, but apart from that, um, I think it's a solid movie.
Yep. So I'd like to thank Dark for all the help and stuff. We'll be starting season two with another person. We'll be doing Chuck Norris month with a another reviewer guy coming up. And when Dark feels that he's getting stuff done and he wants because he's working right now, so once he's done doing that, if he wants to come back and do reviews with us, then he's totally welcome to.
I'll do that.
And yeah, well, thank you everybody. Have a good day. Have a good long holiday type thing. And yeah, like, subscribe, and thank you very much. Have yourself a good day.